When I was growing up, my favorite type of video game was platforming games. Stuff like Mario and Sonic. I know that's a very stereotypical answer, but there was a lot of great ones that came of that particular genre that I really, really love. Some that are not obscure, things like Donkey Kong Country 2, and then things that are obscure, like McDonald's Treasure Land Adventures, which is an amazing game.
I would say Tetris. Tetris is one of my favorite video games. It's a timeless classic, and it's on everything. You can't like not pick up a gaming device or a platform and not have a form of Tetris on it.
My favorite game when I was a child, I would have to say Mega Man.
Dr. Mario. Yeah. That was a family game. We all played it, so good times.
I was a huge NES fan. My favorite 3 top games are Mario 1, 2, and 3. I also love Tetris, Dr. Mario. I'm more of a strategy game than like an RPG player.
If it wasn't Castlevania 1, it was either Castlevania 2 or 3. I absolutely love those games, but it's really hard to pick because I can go, depending on my mood, I can go Castlevania, Zelda, Mario, Alex Kidd in Miracle World, R-Type. I love them all. There's so many games that I loved as a kid.
My favorite game is actually Legend of Zelda Wind Waker.
Okay, why is that your favorite game?
I love the story and I love the music and the bright visuals of it.
My favorite game to play with friends was always Double Dragon 2 on the NES, and there's nothing more satisfying than taking an enemy and hyper-kneeing them across the screen. And I always thought like, oh, it would be amazing to be able to like hyper-knee and then another guy comes over and hyper-knees the other one across, and it was always a really, really fun aspect of it. And you know, I've always grew up with like I grew up with the Atari and other systems as well, but NES is when I came into my own as a gamer, and I have all my favorite experiences.
No, I mean I'm a big Atari fan, 2600. So a lot of games I like from that. It's hard to pinpoint which was the best. I would say Adventure, but unfortunately now going back and looking at them, the games weren't as good as I remember them.
One of my favorite video games growing up was a strange one. It was Top Secret Episode on the NES, based upon the Golgo 13 Japanese manga. It was basically an assassin. They try to soften the character and make him a secret agent in the US, but he wasn't a secret agent. He was a sniper and an assassin.
Sega Dreamcast kind of came about at the last gasp of my childhood, and it was an attempt to relive the nostalgic part of the beginning of my childhood, but at the same time it just had a lot of great games that engrossed me, and it was all just part of an experience that to this day I still enjoy, and I'm in a sense nostalgic for, but it also had a lot of titles on it that I just legitimately love, and that I can go back and replay very easily. And to this day, we just celebrated the Dreamcast 18th birthday yesterday, and it still gets new games for it, which is sick.
There was actually one year where I was more into 360, Xbox 360 games, so I have not been a hardcore PlayStation fanboy. When PlayStation 3 came out, it didn't look like the best lineup at the time, so a lot of games were exclusive to the Xbox, so you jump ship a little bit, but then you come back, and now it's like PlayStation 4. Of the next current gen consoles, it's pretty much the game system that is like easy to play.
Yeah, this is another one I go back and forth on depending on my mood. So it's either the Sega Genesis, the Sega Saturn, or the original Xbox. I love all those consoles.
It's pretty much a tie between the NES and the Super Nintendo. I like both systems because it was kind of like a transitionary period between the two. Really fun, and because like some of my favorite games of all time are on the Super Nintendo. However, some of my favorite experiences are on the NES. And I go back now to the NES more than the Super Nintendo.
PC games, but I do play a lot of handhelds because I travel a lot. So the Nintendo Switch is, I think, an amazing console because you can take it with you. Whereas PS4, Xbox One, kind of got to sit in front of the TV. But Yeah, Nintendo Switch is great, and when I'm at home, I do play a lot on the PC.
Yeah, the NES is one of the most important consoles of all time. It reestablished the video game console market in North America. It established all of these popular franchises that are still around today. Legend of Zelda, Super Mario Brothers, which before Mario was a minor character, Super Mario Brothers made him a superstar, Metroid, Kid Icarus, the Final Fantasy series, Castlevania was big on the NES, Mega Man. Really, when you define retro games, you really start talking about the NES first and foremost for a reason.
To be honest, I'm not sure there is another leap. I think a lot of the stuff that we have right now, like VR and all that stuff, is basically another attempt at the Wii. It's an attempt to find some sort of gimmick to push on people to make them like it. They tried it with 3D. They tried it with motion controls. Both of those things go back years. They're just trying to find something that'll be successful and quirky because it's different. It won't necessarily ultimately work. Whereas I think game consoles themselves, as much as I love them, I don't think they're going to be around a whole lot longer. I think you're going to be moving into a more PC-focused area, a lot more digital content purely, and I think I think Xbox will turn into a brand.
And the Switch is like now the new hot thing because it's portable and people can play and try to live like in that commercial where everyone's like having a rooftop party and playing games. But and if you come here and no one's doing that, it's always like crowded areas and playing games and I feel like people kind of always play the current gen and compare it to the last gen. That's just what's happening. So right now, people are playing a lot of I would say the best of the last year games, and I would have to say it's still the 360. Like the 360 is still thriving, and so the fact that a lot of Xbox One games are getting backwards compatibility from 360 kind of shows it that they still haven't quite made it yet. Where the PS4 is just here's new exclusive. There's no PS3 version. There's no backwards compatibility to PS3. It's just the 4. And same thing with the Switch. They're actually doing a lot of backwards compatibility or HD remakes of famous other famous lineups or other famous lineups. But PS4 is again, I would say the PS4 is the one that has is winning the current war, I guess.
I'm looking forward to the Xbox One X. I'm gonna get that one. I'm getting the Scorpio edition. I've already got the pre-order in. Got the PS4 Pro. I had the original PS4. I had the original Xbox One. I had the original Xbox One S. So it started way back in the day, and it just keeps going. It's the addiction is still there. It seems like each year since they launched VR, it's gotten a lot better every single year. So 5 years from now, VR is going to be something completely different that we're not even able to mentally handle right now. It's just going to be awesome in 5 years. I think there's going to be enough power to have the thing in the headset itself, so you don't have to be tethered to anything. So I think that's the key. Once you're able to not be tethered, I think that's going to be the key to the success.
So I think it's more paralleling PC now than we've seen in the past because we're getting to a graphical fidelity that we haven't seen before. There's no real giant increment to have the next console generation of gaming besides for Nintendo doing something crazy and new, a new experience, which is what Nintendo's known for. It's what they've always done. But as they raise the bar, we're seeing this new type of I can take it portable, put it in the thing, and put it right on my TV. that's a convenience thing. The VR on the other side, I see that as a brand new experience, but it's still kind of gimmickry. It's still kind of motion controls and all that you have to get off your couch and start doing stuff when a lot of people still just want to game and lay back and hang out and play games. So I could see VR getting bigger and being its own thing though, even its own genre almost, its own system. But I do see some people, they're probably going to do exactly what the Switch are doing. I can see Sony just jumping right on and doing a same type of thing, and I would support that too.
And you're seeing a lot of these consoles basically becoming small gaming PCs. I mean, the Xbox One and PS4 are basically, proprietary computers, whereas the Nintendo Switch is trying to get that unique angle of, hey, you can play our game wherever you want. I think Sony has basically given up on handheld gaming. I think they understand that Nintendo's kind of got that market. So I think you're just going to continue to see what we're seeing now. You're going to have the hardcore enthusiasts playing the Xbox and PS4, and then you're going to have the more casual fun systems on Nintendo. And you're seeing Nintendo starting to do mobile gaming now too, though. I mean, Super Mario Run was on cell phones, and they're doing the Fire Emblem stuff on cell phones, so they're really trying to expand their software.
I'm not too excited about future consoles. I was a little excited about the Nintendo Switch. I thought it was a cool concept of a handheld that doubled as being able to dock to a TV. That was a cool concept for me, being able to play Breath of the Wild on an airplane, for example. Something that wouldn't be possible for a game like that 10 years ago. That appealed to me. Not looking to expand my retro game collection that much with the new consoles. I don't have room for what I have already. So it's kind of nutty being a retro game collector to begin with because it's hard to find the space for this stuff. So I'm pretty happy where I am in terms of the size of my collection and the number of games I have.
Website I write for is everythingaction.com. You can also find us on Twitter as EVAction, and you can find us on Instagram as everything.action.
So this was my originator. I wanted an NES collector's guide that I could fit in my pocket, and when I go around to conventions like a video game con here in New Jersey or anywhere else that I go to, I literally open it up and I can see if I have the cart box manual for the NES games. I played all 1,400 plus Famicom games and picked out all the ones that you can enjoy. There's a whole section back here that is, and I did Famicom, there's NES homebrew games. These are brand new NES games that have been released aftermarket. There's over 500 of these that I have in the book, and they continue to release games to this day. Everything I have is available at HagensAlley.com. It's a play on Hogan's Alley, the game for the NES. That's Hagen, my last name's Whitten Hagen. As well as I take these to Kickstarter, so in October, I'm launching my Super Nintendo book, the complete SNES, the definitive edition. It's gonna be 630 pages. So this is 500 pages, you can bludgeon someone with it. But 630 pages, every single Super Nintendo game, and it's gonna be $40 for gamers. And I have a definitive slipcase that has animation on it, cool stuff, and basically I just want to pay it forward and make it so everybody can afford it and be able to experience retro gaming.
This is my book, Phoenix 4, The History of the Video Game Industry. The name is called Phoenix 4 because this is the 4th edition of my book. The first edition came out in 1994. It was called Phoenix, The Fall and Rise of Home Video Games. And at the time it came out, it was the very first history of video game book ever published. And so over the years, second edition came out in 1997, third edition came out in 2001, and this is the 4th edition, as I said, just came out this year. It's available in 2 formats. There's a paperback, black and white format, and there's this hardcover color edition. This color edition runs, it's 868 pages, over 1,050 illustrations, full color. It's available through my website, www.rolentapress.com. That's ROLENTA Press, rolentapress.com, or through Amazon or barnesandnoble.com.
is Dump Trump. This is a game where you're tasked with saving America from the evil Ronald Dump, who is a catnapper. So one might say that he's trying to grab the music and you have to stop him. You're the only one who can. And you do that in a series of short mini games, very much like WarioWare or Dumb Ways to Die, if you've played either of those. And it's coming out on the App Store on January 20th. And yeah, that's pretty much it.